How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Fourever Arsenal podcast. A day late, but some people have to do the abroad duties on Champions League nights. And there was one left in the Champions League phase. As he's smiling there, he had a whale of a time. We got the 3 points and we finished top 8. We're going to talk about it, people. Also, some transfer stuff. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's get up to 1,000 likes, nice and early. Subscribe. AFTV Plus app, you know the motto already, people. Just go show some love. Individual channels below as well. They're not below, actually. That's Big Six. But Universe, Lee Judges TV, Whisper It Loudly, Turkish LD, and the Big Six. You know what it is already, people. How we doing? All good?
All good. All good.
Yeah?
Yeah, all good. Excited to get into this one.
Yeah, Lee,
the transfer stuff.
Yeah, mainly, really, innit? Mainly, really. But Lee, it did look like a nice away trip in Girona. I mean, nice small stadium.
Yeah.
Nice little town. Is it a town? It looks like a town.
Yeah, it's very, very, compared to big cities you go in the Champions League, it was sort of like a Europa League sort of venue. Like, the actual ground was unbelievable. It's just two stands they couldn't use because they were temporary, so with scaffold around them, so they weren't allowed to use them. But it was a small, but what a lovely place, lovely place. And the Girona fans, you go sometimes abroad, it can be hostile, particularly, and in a couple of times in Spain, it can be. The police, the fans were unbelievable. Mate, I don't know if you heard it on the tannoy. They said, the Arsenal fans got to stay in after the game.
Oh no!
But good luck to in the rest of the competition and all that. Like, it was really something different. And a funny sort of ground, but small one. And you know what, guys, I don't know how you felt about this. It was nice to go to a game without it being a must-win situation. So I sort of, even though I was a little bit peeved, we went 1-0 down, but it was sort of like lovely to just sit there and relax and watch a game of football. And of course, obviously you want Arsenal to win, but and we did in the end. But yeah, very, very good, good day, good night's work, and really was down to what we'd done before in the competition. I don't think we really appreciated how difficult that was. To go through the whole competition, one defeat, only conceded. That was our first goal, by the way. We conceded in open play, and Raya was there. I don't know what's going on there. He was sitting in the stands. We see him, so I don't know what's going on there. If he was badly injured, would he have travelled and whatever? So I don't really know what's going on there, if it's a little bit of a kid on his ear or whatever. But yeah, good night's work, fantastic trip. I think overall a good campaign from Arsenal in the Champions League. I know it don't mean nothing, but to get through, and there's a lot of teams, a lot of big teams playing in the playoffs, isn't there? So I think they're going to be interested, so see what happens.
Yeah, and we got third place, and I think that leaves us with either AC Milan, Juventus, Feyenoord, or PSV in the last 16 playoffs goal, which puts us in a good position. I mean, rather than discuss the Girona game, which was pretty much a throwaway, what are we thinking about our potential options? Out of the 4 I'm looking at, probably PSV is the one I don't want, but we are favourites against every single one.
Well, if I could jump in there and just quickly say, I have to be honest, I was very ignorantly going into the Girona game going, pick up a draw, top 8's fine, not a must win. When you look at how it was all working out, at one point in the night, we were lingering in 5th because I think Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid and someone else were doing their job. Inter Milan, I think. So we dropped a few places. And a 5th place spot would have meant Bayern, Real Madrid, Man City, or whoever that 4th team is, and actually the value of finishing those 2 places higher is it's there for all to see. I'm personally really glad we didn't just sort of not throw away the game, but just accept the top 8 wherever we finish and allow the draw to be what it is. I think winning that was actually a bit more important than perhaps I realised. So I probably should have been a bit more research going into the game when it comes to that. But then it's hard to know how everyone else is going to line up around the table. There's quite a few things to work out, to be fair. So good job, Arsenal, getting getting the win, but also for navigating this Champions League campaign, I think really well. I know this is not a competition we've got a great history in at all, but look at the sides below us. I mean, Inter Milan, Atletico, Leverkusen, Villa all did well to get top 8. Dortmund, Real Madrid, Bayern, AC Milan, PSG, Juventus, Man City, Sporting, who were, I think, second when we went there. All of those just made the top. Well, not just made, but didn't make the top 8 and made it into that qualifiers bracket. So I think we've got to give the club a lot of credit for navigating it well.
Yeah, I think it leaves us now with, if we pass the next round, that leaves us with the Bayern Munich, Man City bracket of things, and then potentially a Liverpool semi-final. When I was talking to Grizz yesterday on the Big Six, he said that's how it potentially works out.
Okay.
But you can't think too far ahead. Let's just see how the draw for the playoff goes today, and then we'll take it from there. But yeah, obviously City have got either Bayern or Real Madrid, so they've already got a tough task because they finished out of the top 8. So that's the benefit of going straight through. 2 less games. You see the squad we've got and the lack of options, the injuries, and I think we could do without those 2 games.
Do you guys like it? Do you like the new format?
I don't mind it, if I'm honest with you. First time run at it, and it's interesting. I'm still learning. I didn't know that at the end of the game we'd know 4 of the teams we could potentially face. That was new to me. So I've got to do a bit more digging, investigating, and trying to work out how this actually really, structured.
The group stages were boring, though, weren't they? Don't you think? I've never been really interested in them, even when we've been in them. Definitely not when we've been out of them.
Yeah.
As a spectacle, I've not really enjoyed the group stages.
Jordan, do you like it?
I don't really have any strong feelings. I mean, I don't dislike it. Do you know what I mean? I don't really I'm a bit ambivalent. I know some people are kind of like one way or the other. They really don't like it, or they really, really think it's better. I'm a little bit like, nah. It's the reverse, wasn't it? All the drama was the last 2 games of the league, right? Whereas the previous one, the drama was often in the first 2 games, and most groups by the last 2 rounds of games were pretty much settled and they were kind of dead. Whereas this one was the other way around. So I guess that is an interesting climax. But the start was boring. The first 3 or 4 games were quite dry. So I don't have any kind of strong feelings either way, to be honest.
I'm in the middle. We saw lots of clashes. Arsenal went to Inter Milan. That was great. Thought Liaz made a great point on his channel where he said, Arsenal haven't played Inter since 2003, I think it was. So, it's great. They've got a format that's probably going to throw up more ties and more kind of clashes across Europe. However, when we lost to Inter, I was annoyed that we didn't have them at the Emirates to kind of put ourselves to the test in a home game. So there is that element. Also, in the first 5 games, it was really kind of hard to know where you really stood. After even 5, that's 5 out of 8. But not hard to know where you stood, but like really know whether this was going well for you or not. But it was fine. I liked it. It was It'd
be interesting now what happens, like where you know where you're going to be, you know you're going to play. Where before you didn't, you sort of knew, didn't you, from the quarterfinals, then the semi-finals, what you're going to be. But now you're going to,
we've got an idea. Yeah,
you've got an idea where you're going to be, where you're not going to be, or whatever if you get through. So it's interesting.
It does really take out a little bit of the kind of the jeopardy and the unpredictable nature of cup competitions. In league, you know who you're playing across the whole season. Whereas the beauty of cup is that you don't know who the quarterfinal, you don't know so that's the one thing I would say against it. I kind of like the fact that I didn't know who Arsenal were playing in the quarterfinal or semi-final.
That's a great point.
It's ruined I mean, the draw used to be a spectacle. I think that's taken a hit this year because I'm not really too fussed about the draw. If you usually, once you're through in the Champions League in the normal group stage format, it's on to the draw next. Obviously, we're not in this draw, but the fact we know the next 4 teams already, I don't really care too much about the next draw either. Like it's more of a, I don't know. It just feels weird.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I do believe this draw, when it takes place, does determine whether we get Liverpool in the semi-final or Barcelona if they go through. Is that correct? Because it can go 2 ways.
Yeah. It's going to put us on either side of the draw.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that we're going to really want to know. We know we've got one of those 4 teams. So I get what Jordan's saying. I do think there is that bit of excitement, isn't there, of not knowing who you're going to get and where you're going to go and whatever. And I think that's probably taken away from us now. You know, even though we're not in this one, we know we're either going to go Italy or Holland. It's as simple as that. You know, yeah. So I think Jordan's right there. I think that it does take away. There is that little bit of a buzz in the morning, isn't there, when a cup draw is being made, even in the FA Cup as well. Like, you know, or the League Cup, you have that like that little bit of nervousness and all that. Yeah. I suppose that's being taken away. So that's a good point, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I did want to move on from the game, but I feel like we need to mention Ranieri at the very least, because as much as it was generally not a throwaway game for us, but one, like Lee said, you can sit, you can smile, you can enjoy for what it is. It was a massive one for Ranieri, first Champions League start and first Champions League goal, and very nice goal. Whilst we're at it, beautiful.
Didn't realise how good it was, Turkish sauce, when I see it on TV.
Yeah, drop of the shoulder, beats man, and
he sort of comes out into the box, comes out of the box, and then puts in an unbelievable shot. I have to say, you know, I just love watching him play. I really do. I think I forget he's 17 years of age, guys. I really do. I just think that, you know, he's so mature in physicality and the way he plays as well. And I don't know if you were saying, as soon as he scored that goal, I said he has to start.
Yeah.
That was my first, when he scored that. That's him starting Sunday. And I was, the one thing that I was surprised was that he stayed on as long as he did. But you know, we've got a player on our hands here, boys. I tell you, I really, you know, it's just the way he conducts himself on the field and off of it. And his stature as well. Like he's not 17 in his body with his physicality and everything. Like, you know, he's not one of these ones where I think you're going to have to say, oh, you've got to just see him through games. You know, like we were talking about Vieira hasn't like physically been able to handle the league, got the talent, but physically hasn't. We haven't got the worry with this 17-year-old kid. He's Premiership hardened. Well, I don't know how he's done it, but he's done it fantastically well.
Yeah, Jordan, we just touched on Ranieri. Are you back?
Sorry, guys, I've got some audio mic issues. Apologies. Can you hear me okay?
No way, Jordan. You audio mic?
Nah. What's happened? Your equipment's had to go back. Was it on rental or something?
Layaway.
It's a long, boring story, but I'm gonna have to power through as it is. Apologies.
I don't know if you know, but your mic's behind you, mate. It's meant to be.
I know where it is, but there's some issues that. It's long to sort out.
How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. It needs to go in front of you, mate.
Back to the game. Great goal. I mean, it gets to the point now where, guys, we don't have to really buy anybody, I don't think, as a backup to Saka in the summer. I think he will be the kind of natural rotated wide right player for Saka when he comes back in. Yeah. And if Saka and Ranieri are your two right wingers in your squad, I think you're doing all right. I think that side of the team is totally sorted now for the next 5, hopefully 10 years. He's so good. I'm
still thinking central for him. I know his best performances have now come on the right, but I think the way Arteta's molded the midfield, I think we forget that you can, instead of adding some stiff guy like Havertz or Marino into the 8, you can add a cultured guy into the 10 and move Odegaard over. I think we forget that, you know, sometimes a 10, it can be a bit looser than it is at this moment in time.
I just wasn't impressed with his what he's laughing at.
My choice of words.
I take it you're not a fan of Marino and Havertz's performances in the left 8.
It could be better, James. I'll be honest.
I just wasn't that impressed with him central, and when he was kind of touted as the Odegaard backup, I was never really. He was all right. I don't think he was great, but I think wide, he runs at you, he cuts in, he gets shots off, he gets crosses in. He's a proper wide man. I would personally leave him as the alternative to Saka.
I love him. How much would it have cost to sign a player in the window that could produce that kind of moment?
Brilliant point.
Now, right. And we can talk about readiness and maturity and all that. By the way, he's looking all those things, but just being ready and mature doesn't mean you're able to do it for a couple games. It's the consistency, it's lasting the season, and that's the test for Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri. But if we do our job right as a club, we don't need them to prove that immediately. They can come in at the right times and do the things that as and when we need them. And Nwaneri has come in for Saka. Our right-hand side now with Saka and Nwaneri is without a doubt the most lethal part of our attack. It's undoubtedly the best area of our team. It cost us nothing. It's free. That is just the academy doing its job. So huge well done to Per Mertesacker and anyone else involved in that. And Arsenal, because at one point it looked like we might lose Nwaneri. There was talks about whether he was going to stay. A lot of clubs looking at him. Amazing that he committed his future. Always wanted to, apparently, and that Arsenal have shown him that path to the first team. I agree with Jordan. I think out on the right, it suits him so well, but he's so talented, he will play in midfield. The Coutinho comparisons were spot on in terms of the profile. Again, it's that ability to, yes, play in a midfield three because he's got that technical quality, strong on the ball, but it's the work he does in the final third. And that strike was so impressive. He actually attempted it about a minute before with a better angle, but it was blocked.
Yeah.
And then he drives inside, and then he has to really swivel his body around. That's not like an easy sort of. That's not just about the way you struck the ball. That's rotating your body to get the whip and the movement, and doing that on the Champions League stage. I think it's your first Champions League start in the absence of Arsenal's best player. Yeah, it's really, really impressive what he's doing, and it's going to save Arsenal a lot of money in terms of getting someone who could come in comfortably for Bukayo Saka and try and replicate, because he's actually quite different to Saka, but replicate some of those similar things. And now all eyes are on the striker and the left wing position. But I mean, what Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly have done this season when they've come into an Arsenal side that are not at the peak of their powers, I've just got so much admiration for these two, the best youngsters that have come through, for a while. I mean, Saka obviously is 5 years ago now. And, these players don't come it's not every year there's an academy player ready to step up and go again. It really is an every 5 years thing. What was Bukayo Saka? 2018, we first heard of him. When was before that? Bellerin was about 2013, and he wasn't on a technical level like these guys, but he did come through and play in the first 11. Jack Wilshere was about 2000.
Iwobi was after Bellerin.
I know Iwobi's doing really well now, and I know he did come through and play in the first team, but I never had the same excitement for him that I did.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I get what you mean.
I'm not saying no one ever comes in. I'm just, like Joe Willock and Nketiah did, and they did well. These are good Premier League players. Now, Joe Willock's done well at Newcastle, and Iwobi's doing great at Fulham. It's not that we haven't produced good players. I'm talking the ones that you go, wow, and then it was Jack Wilshere, 2008. So, from Wilshere to, and then, like I said, I don't put Bella in that bracket, but he was at one point considered, I think he got team of the year at right back.
Yeah, he did.
And then you got, Saka and now these two. It's a rare thing. So huge congrats to those two.
It's a lovely thing as well, James. We've had it all through my time supporting Arsenal. There's always been players that have come through, like from like Liam Brady was one that I can remember very, very first of all, coming through to the David Rocastles, Paul Merson's, Paul Davis. I'm going to miss a few here. Kevin Campbell, through to the Jack Wilsheres and guys like that. We've always had them come through, and I think it's a big thing, because you do, Martin Keown. Sorry, Martin. That you get these players, and you do feel a bit more for them. I don't know if you feel this, but because Nwaneri's come through the ranks, you just support him a little bit more than, say, dare I say it, if Marino. I do. I've got like this real affection for him, because they have come through the ranks, and Saka as well, of course. And I think it, even like Smith Rowe and guys like that, you just have that lovely little. I don't know if you feel this, but when I'm watching Fulham, I'm really desperately hoping that he does well because of the connections of what he's done. So I think it's great that we've got players come through, and I think we've got two. I think you're right, James. And the other good thing about it is that I think that there's I think Miles Skelly. I do think I think he's going to end up in midfield. I think he's that good. I do as well. I think they can play
his ceiling's higher. Sorry, Lee. I think his ceiling's higher.
Yeah,
I think his ceiling's higher. Of the two, I think his ceiling's higher.
Over Waneri.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do. I think Ranieri's a bad boy. I think Lewis Skelly could be one of the best left backs in the Premier League. I'm not sure if Ranieri will go on to be one of the best right wingers in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? I think he'll be a good player for Arsenal, and I think he'll definitely contribute. I just wonder where he gets regular games while Saka and Odegaard are in the team. How does he get the minutes to kind of really assert himself? Whereas Lewis Skelly, I think he could be our left back next season. And I agree, I think he can move into midfield beyond that. I think Ranieri's got two titans, if you like, ahead of him in both of where he plays well. That will limit his games. If everybody's fit, does Ranieri start?
I do think though, I do think that.
I think you've got to realise he's a year behind Miles as well. That's a big thing, Jordan. Like a year.
Yeah.
But
I just think because of full potential, you have to play.
City produced Foden with David Silva, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. I mean, I just don't think you can have a shortage of these kind of players in your teams. Final third killers, match winners. And, there was some interesting discourse, when he was looking so good on the right. So where's his future? How does that look? Obviously, Saka's out there. And I just think, if we do our job well over the next few seasons, we're starting games with Waneri false nine, in one of the eights, someone on the right, so Saka can be rested.
We do our job properly. I don't want to hear false anything up top, if I'm honest with you.
Fair enough. But the point is,
it's a fair point.
James is
very Roy Keane.
It's still false nines, bro. I want a fucking real nine, bro. I want to start really getting at people on this pitch.
He's right. He's not
right. The game's changed, Turkish.
The game's gone, mate. The game's fucking gone.
We want the real deal. We don't want false nothing. I like it.
No, the kid can play anyway. He will wrestle a place into this Arsenal team if he keeps going. But well done to him. Should we talk about Watkins actually? Speaking of real nines.
Yeah, he's
was there anything else?
But I mean, on the Ranieri stuff, the club is blessed, right? And I said this January there is nowhere to hide from, and I think the emergence of Lewis Skelly and Ranieri is as much as it's been a joy for us, and I think it's actually been probably my favorite point of the season or favorite thing of the season is seeing them two flourish, especially Miles Lewis Skelly, who, in my opinion, he was the underdog of the two, and he just come out barking, fighting, and now he's level playing field, in my opinion, to the point where Jordan's saying his ceiling is higher. The club are in a great position to fucking go and finish the job. You've had youngsters come through that are now the focal point of the team, like a Saka or a Saliba in defense, or an Odegaard who's coming on loan, grown in the. Now you've got another set of youngsters coming through again to help support. What we've done wrong this season is going into a season knowing that at some point we're going to have to rely on them. That's wrong. And it would be wrong doing that again next season. But now we know we've got them two there. If we do what we really need to do in a transfer window, it's better for them. It's better for us as a unit. So there's nowhere that this club can hide. And we all praise Hayland and so, but there comes a time where they're going to want to win as well.
It takes a bit of pressure off them, Turkish, as well. Surely it does.
No, it does, but they will lean on that, Lee, and I don't like that.
No, I agree. We shouldn't do that, because at the end of the day, James makes a great point. How much of them two players saved us if we was to go and buy them in the transfer market? They've saved us a lot of money.
100 million.
We went and bought Calafiori for 40 million. We didn't save it. We bought someone and then realized that we got a better.
Well, no, I think you need those players. I thought Calafiori played well the other day. I think that that's you need to have a good squad as well, and they're buzzing. But I think now you can. If I'm in a meeting in the field, I'm going, look, we've saved ourselves, as James said, there 100 million on these two players, and they're going to enhance our squad for the next 10 years. Let's go and get that striker. Let's go and get that midfield player, and let's go and get that wide player now. And then we've got a real team. And I think that's what that's the conversations they should be having. Not going, oh, do you know what? We saved ourselves a little bit here. We don't have to do this and we don't have to do that. And I think that this is maybe why they've gone for the Watkins one. Probably gone a little bit over the top because they can afford to do that now, which is great if it happens. I've still got my reservations though.
Don't we all, James? You were slowly bringing it onto the subject, but Watkins bid. Supposed bid. I'm gonna call it supposed because it's not the first time that there's been, I don't know, bids made that you can't really make sense of. And James, maybe you can help me here, but I know the bid supposedly came in on Monday once they was alerted that Aston Villa would be parting ways with one of the two strikers. But at the same time, I mean, wait until the last week to test the waters. If you really wanted him, surely this is something you were testing in the summer. And does it make sense? Is it true? Do you believe it?
Yeah, I do believe it. That doesn't mean I think it's well played by Arsenal. That's two different things. I might believe it, but I'm not sure we've approached this brilliantly. I think I have far more concerns and criticism for the approach to the deal than I do for the actual deal itself. In fact, I'm actually going to shut up. I want to hear all your opinions on Watkins before I come in, but I think this would be a really good signing for us. I'm not on the whole. He's 29. You know, is his goal record that good? I actually think there's a really good player here who would suit us. Now, that's not to say that you don't need someone else maybe at some point. That's not to say that completes the forward line. That's not to say he necessarily makes us title winners just before we sign the guy. Certainly not when you're this far behind Liverpool. But I really like the player. I just think why it's taken this long to get to a point of just a bid or just hearing about it, I'm not so sure. So what are all your opinions on Watkins? Jordan, I know you said in the group something that you wanted to get off your chest about it, but I couldn't tell if the tone was, again, more about the way we've approached the deal or the player himself.
Well, I was disappointed in the whole process because I won't use the word on here that I used to describe it, but it was it wasn't a good move from Arsenal for three reasons. One, it felt like they threw in a bid because they knew that a bid was coming in from Saudi for Duran, knowing full well Villa are not going to sell both of their front men. So if we throw in a bid, we can then say to the Arsenal fan base, look, we bidded, we put in a bid, they turned it down. What do you look? We're serious. This is what we did it. What can we do? Oh well, on to the next one. Second of all, as you just said, this isn't like they've found and scouted some talent from South America or Africa or somewhere in Europe, and they've been working on this deal to find this guy for the past 3 weeks. Ollie Watkins has been in front of our very faces. He scored past us last week. Like, why now? Why not put the bid in 2 weeks ago? We know about Ollie Watkins. If that's the guy you wanted, why is it only now that you put in a bid for him? And it just felt. I agree with you as far as I do rate Ollie Watkins. I think he's a very, very good Premier League striker. I also agree with you. I don't buy this. He's 29 years old. He's too old. If you get 2 good years out of him, so what? I find this whole he's 29 thing weird. I think we need a 29-year-old proven, established experience. I don't think we need a 21-year-old hot prospect. So the whole age thing, I find a little bit weird. But I think for me, whilst I like Ollie Watkins, we used the word, I think Turkish used it as well, pre-season, one of our pods, our front line, we didn't feel Saka, Martinelli, Havertz was scary. That's the word we used. And if we're going into trying to win a Premier League title this or next season, my question is a front line of, we don't know who by the left, but let's say it's Martinelli, Watkins and Saka. Is that particularly a scary front line that you're confident as Arsenal fans? Yet this is a front line that can win the Premier League. No. Maybe it can. I'm not totally convinced that Watkins is the guy. I've been waiting a decade since Van Persie to lead our front line, to be the guy. So if we signed him, I wouldn't be pissed. But for me, the only striker of all ones we've been linked with, the only striker that I'm interested in is Osimhen. He's the only person that's an out-and-out 9, proven winner, 2 seasons under his belt of scoring goals in a respectable league, winning the title with his club. I don't know what's happening at Galatasaray. That's all a bit weird. But he's the only striker everyone's been linked with. Sorry, Turkish.
He's doing well.
Osimhen.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's scoring goals.
He's the only one that I'm really looking at. Like, go and get Osimhen. I think he will bang. He's the only person that I'm confident will bang. But Watkins is a good striker. If we signed him, I wouldn't be pissed. But would he be the guy that I'd be going all out for? And also, if we're putting down 60 million for Ollie Watkins, how does that impact our transfer strategy in the summer? Does that mean that's our big signing for the whole of 2025? If that's the case, I'll wait.
And that's the problem with Arsenal. They put you in a position where we're asking, would you take this on the last few days? Or if it's this, would you take this? It's never okay. Like, surely we didn't. I'm going to lean on what the club have said over the years. Again, I know it's 20 years gone now and Gazidis is not part of the side, but to compete with Bayern Munich, I know it's 7 years gone now, and that's when full ownership came, and 6 years since Be Excited and 5 years since Trust the Process. We could have signed Watkins when we were fighting for top 4. We could have signed Watkins in phase 0. And he improves our side. Without a shadow of a doubt, he improves our side. But that's because the bar is so low in attack at this moment in time. I'm sorry, I don't feel like he is the final piece. And I feel like it's another case of either the club doing image in the last few days and trying to do that whole we tried thing, or they ain't changed one bit. And we are finding out slowly but surely once again. Because Watkins ain't ever scored 20 Premier League goals in a season. So how is it have we gone from we need that 20 goal striker to people accepting Watkins being the profile all of a sudden we need? Now the club do this all the time, and then it's we might as well take him. Don't get twisted. In about 24 hours, people are going to be talking about Rashford.
Yeah.
I know what's coming.
Yeah, same.
I feel we've been here before with, maybe a lot of fans feeling the same about Watkins as they did Ian Wright, same sort of scenario. People were saying, what do we
Glass
need?
half full, yeah? Glass half full, okay.
It's a fair comparison.
No. I'm just putting it out there. This is a guy that's took Aston Villa to Champions League football. Shot them up there. It's only the last sort of year things have gone a bit funny with the Giroud thing. Do I think this is going to happen? No, there's 2 reasons why I don't think it's going to happen. Seems very, very similar to me to the Caicedo things of a couple of seasons ago, in my opinion. We went like all these bids, and then didn't get him and went for Rice. So seems a little bit like that. And I'll put yourselves in Aston Villa shoes. If it was us, you get yourselves into the Champions League and then you sell your 2 strikers halfway through it. You know what I mean? They've just got top 8. They've got an FA Cup game in a week's time. They've not won anything for a while. Aston Villa got a very, very good chance of winning things. Why would you sell both strikers? And even why would you be in that position to even be thinking about it? So I think if I'm an Aston Villa fan, I'm going to be fuming if they let both of them go. And I know that there's feelings that they might have to sell one for the rules and things like that. But listen, I think it's a good deal. 60 million if we can get him, because one reason I know we can go on to next season and say we need something now. We see this signing for me. If we're signing Watkins, we're signing him for now, maybe for the next year or so. And I do think that whatever you think, I think this is very much like a Ramsdale Raya signing. Perhaps they're signing somebody until the real one comes along and is made available. That ain't a bad thing. Watkins gets a good couple of years at Arsenal, so I don't see it as a bad thing from that point of view.
But you say a good couple of years at Arsenal. Saliba's gone in a couple of years. Let's get this.
But we could still win. Like, I think we can win things with a striker like that. I do, because it will add to us. You know what I mean? you know, if Arsenal can win a couple of things over the next couple of years, what are we lacking at Arsenal? What are we lacking? I think we're lacking. We laugh about it like false nine that we're lacking a striker. Now all of a sudden, you know, and I get it, and it's probably everybody. Oh, it's not what I really want. It's not what I really want, but you know, we're never happy, are we? If we brought in somebody, I don't know. If we're all sitting on there, there's four of us here. Let's put our hands up and say what striker we want. I think we'd probably go three, maybe different answers. So
none would be Watkins though. That's the problem. When you look around the league, Van Persie was taken.
Yeah, I think we've said that because we didn't think he was available. I was going on the Giroud thing because I didn't think that they would want to sell Watkins because I thought, like, you know, he was the main guy there. I didn't really put Watkins. When we go about strikers available, has anybody mentioned Watkins could be available? Not really. Now that he is.
Yeah, but what about all this work that Arteta's saying is being done behind the scenes? What about all this work that's going on outside of the transfer?
Still
How
going
does
on,
it? Yeah, but how does it accumulate to? Oh, there's an opportunity there on a Monday. Let's bid for him. How does all that work?
No, because opportunities come up, Joel. Sorry, Turkish. Like, you know, you have to look at it. Was Trossard on the real radar of Arsenal? And he's been a good signing for us. Like, you know, I don't know if Marino was on the radar for a couple of seasons or whatever. You know, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So I'm not going to go down the road and go, I'm not going to be like, say if Watkins is signed today, I'm not going to go out and get a shirt 14 with Watkins on my back saying that Arsenal are going to win the title. I don't think, I get what you're saying. It's not the exciting transfer that you probably want. But I'm going back to when Ian Wright signed. Like, I never was blown away by that. I never moaned about it, but I won't think, oh, like this isn't exciting. Ian Wright's going to be my favourite player over the next 10 years, which he unbelievably was. So I'm going to see what happens. You know what I mean? And you know, I don't buy into this because he's an Arsenal fan and all that rubbish. That's got nothing to do with it. Like, you know, I also think when you say about Osimhen, you say about Coquelin, you say about Vlahovic, all these players, what has he got over them? The one thing that he has got over them is Premiership proven. That's the only thing that I would.
I hate that statement.
I know, but it does mean a lot, though, guys.
What's he proven in the Premier? What's he proven in the Premier League? Though it's like when people saying Tony's Premier League proven. Tony had one 20-goal season. Watkins has had none. If Watkins is proven in the Premier League, so is Solanke.
I don't get the whole. I understand when people say Premier League proven, but I don't put too much weight on that because if you're a good striker, you can adapt to different leagues, and so that to me doesn't mean.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily. There's a lot of players, Jordan, out there, and this is a fact. That stay away from the Premier League because they think it's too physical or too quick or whatever like that. There is. It's a fact. You know what I mean? It's a different league. It's a tougher league. A lot more tougher games. You know, so
I'll be real. I think you guys. Sorry, I think you guys are being really harsh on the player. I think. I mean, it's just a glance at his numbers. I've got more beyond the numbers, but first season in the Premier League, 14 goals, 5 assists. That's 19 in 37 games. By the way, in every season he's played 37, 35, 37, 37, 23. This season he's durable. Last season, 19 goals and 13 assists. Not one of them was a penalty. Apparently, he's got 10 goals and 5 assists already this season. He's been doing this, and then all the other seasons were 15 and 6, 11 and 2. That was his poorest campaign, the 21-22 season. I think that's when they moved on from the other manager and got Gerrard in at that point. Very reliable in terms of goals, in terms of minutes. You guys say proven what? I think he's proven over 5 years consistently that he can play at this level and get better and better and better. He's 29. He's in his prime. If you're talking players that have proven they can score goals in the Premier League, there's Haaland, there's Salah. Who's there after that? There's a legitimate argument that Watkins is the next player you mention. If you're talking about players, okay, Harry Kane actually is at Bayern. Who's that?
Isak.
Yeah, fine. 4. Any others? I mean, but there's not many. Isak's
But
150 million.
we're trying to be one. Do you get what I'm saying? We're trying to
hear
be
that.
number one. So why are we going for number 4, 5, 6?
No, but
why?
number four in the list of players in world football that have proven they can score goals in the Premier League is really not bad on that list. And look, I'm not saying that Watkins he comes in and suddenly blown away. But I think this is a really good player. I think he comes on. I think it's not just his goal. I mean, you look at the one he scored for England in the semi-finals. I mean, that's a proper finish. I think he's a really good finisher. Look at the one at the Emirates the other day. Barely much time to think about it. Rifles it in the roof of the net, and he was doing nothing that day. We're calling for a player that, when we're not playing our best, needs a one chance and puts it away. Villa did not play well at the Emirates, but 2 goals. Tielemans, because a wicked cross from Digne. Watkins, bam, 2-2. They've robbed a point. You know, we don't have a player that can do that. And, you know, 60 million is not 100 million. I don't think that's a transfer budget defining signing. You know, Liverpool spent 65, 70 on Nunez, quickly realized he wasn't the starter. And he's just doing his job in the squad. Now, I'm not saying we should be looking again. I'm not saying Watkins should come in and just be a squad player, but is this someone who improves our firepower in front of goal? There's no question. His hold-up play is good. I've seen him bully defenders, run the channels. He gets good numbers of assists because he does get himself into good positions. He pulls wide and he combines well. Now, I think the biggest caveat to all this is Unai Emery is a master at getting something out of strikers. Whether it was Moreno at Villarreal, what did Cecil call him? Monroe. Whether it was Monroe at Villarreal, Aubameyang and Lacazette at Arsenal, and we know how it went after Emery left. Whether it were, you know, Watkins now, where was he before? Sevilla, he had, I can't remember who. So I think Cavani was on fire for him at PSG. So Emery is like a master at setting up a team to get the best out of his 9s. And that's my concern. Arteta will want something very different from his 9. But I think Watkins has the ingredients to do that. Now, I'm not saying it's my dream signing, but being 29 and sort of what has he proven? I'll be honest, guys, I don't subscribe to that. I think he's proven plenty. I think he comes in and makes us a better team, no question.
I'm not saying he's not Premier League proven. I'm just saying when people say we need a striker that is Premier League proven, I don't think that there's much. I don't.
Premier League proven.
You're saying Ottoman, like, yeah,
multiple 20-goal years. That's what Premier League proven used to be. Football's in the mud because Premier League proven now means what? What does it mean now? Because it used to mean a striker is 20 goal a season. That's what it used to mean.
Seriously, I've got to come in here. Like 10 years ago, right, under Arsene Wenger, right, we were buying players that weren't in the Premier League. Everybody's going, why aren't we buying Premier League players? Why are we having to go? Well, because they're too expensive. All that. We then now gone down a route where we are buying Premier League players. That ain't good enough. You know what I mean? Like, I have to say that. You know, you say about like Osman, like, you know what I mean? Like, is your one, Jordan? Like, well, he's not everybody's because he was available this summer. No one's took him. You know what I mean? Like, whoever we go for, I don't know Turkish who you actually is your main one that you want. I think it's Kogarez, if I'm not mistaken. But there's no guarantee that he's going to be the. I don't know. There's no guarantee in any signing. I suppose what I'm saying, like, you know.
Yeah,
that's why the Premier League proven thing for me is a bit of a myth because no one's guaranteed. We could sign Watkins and it might not.
Yeah, cool. I get that. I get that. But
you know what I mean?
The Premier League proven thing goes for someone like Harry Kane. 20-goal a year striker. That's Premier League proven striker. Everything else after that we're stretching it. And
that's
Lee, you're right.
Every strikers of all time, Turkish though. Like Premier League proven can't be an all time. That's hard.
I disagree slightly.
I don't think.
Why has he left the Premier League when he's 30?
Well, he wanted to win stuff.
Maybe he could have gone anywhere, but like maybe he felt that it was a little bit too quick for him and whatever. I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Every transfer is going to be a risky, but
he's not my dream Turkish.
What do you not think? Okay, if you put yourself in a player's shoes, like William Saliba is a generational. So I'm going to use him again, a generational centre back, right? We know what he is. We know what he's going to be. William, we got Watkins coming in. Do you think Saliba like is going to be infused by that? Do you think of a couple of these players that now know that we need to win trophies are going to be infused by that signing? And
Well,
that's part of what a signing needs to do, Lee. Even in your
I-
Sunday league team or whatever, you will have players that you look at and think that guy's going to win us the game. And I'm sorry,
100%. I
Watkins is
agree with
not.
you. 100%. I agree with you. But if William comes and knocks on my door, I would turn around and say to him, like, you know what I mean? The last 2 games he scored against you, and also in the game against Villa, he should have scored against you twice. He opened you up twice. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would say to him. Like, get back on the training field and
It's a
worry
good
about
point.
other things.
No,
He made you look a mug. Is that what you'd say to him?
I would do. Why not?
What a message.
Get back on the training field.
Good
Like he's
point.
made you a mug the last couple of games. Get it back on there, Willie, and do your
Yeah,
job.
he'll be gone quicker, and we'll be left with Watkins up top and no Saliba in the back.
Well, listen,
But Turkish.
Yeah.
Sorry, Turkish. But who is that guy? Who's the guy that you go to Saliba and say we're signing?
Gyökeres is the hottest striker in Europe. Why don't you go
based off
for it?
what?
Based off of the
I don't know. I don't know. I know, but if you're asking me a guy that scored, of going to the proven thing, a guy that scored 15 goals around about for 3 years in a row in the Premier League, or a guy that scored 25 goals in the Portuguese league, who's the guy that I'm probably leaning more towards Watkins, because to Lee's point, at least if you're chatting about proven, I don't know if a guy over there, he might bang.
No one's
He might
proven.
bang. I guess the
No
point,
one's proven.
so,
We've just said no one's proven.
well, no, he's. Well, no, you just said Harry Kane. That's a guy that's proven. Haaland. That's a guy. All the guys that I think would impress William are not attainable anyway. The kind of people that would excite William that we want to sign, I don't think we can get those guys regardless. So trying to impress William and keeping your best players by bringing in other players.
Do you mean William Saliba?
I'm not sure that.
Not Willian, our Brazilian winger. We're not trying to impress him.
No, because Turkish was talking first name basis. So I was
right. I don't know if it's me. It might be the mic. I kept hearing Willian. I thought,
So did I.
well, I'm not too worried what he thinks.
No, Saliba. I don't think you want to keep your best players, of course, but William Saliba can leave the club anyway. So I don't think you want to build your strategy around.
But win is what I'm
Saliba,
saying. Win, brother. Win. I know Saliba's gonna go eventually, but do your best to win with this team before it crumbles.
I'll tell you what. If I'm William Saliba, I'm sitting there going, I'd rather have Watkins come in now than nothing.
Yeah, but this goes
again.
back
That's
to
what
the whole...
Arsenal leave you with, like Sterling or nothing. Oh, we'll take Sterling.
Well, if I'm William Saliba, if I'd be really honest about it, like, you know, I would be disappointed about the summer that we haven't got what we want up top, like, you know, and I'll be very disappointed again if we don't get it in this transfer window. And then if I am William Saliba, I'm going to be looking very much in the summer one to see what you do before I really commit to Arsenal. Really long term, I would be thinking that, because I would then be thinking, well, where is the ambition? Where is the drive to push us over the line?
Do you remember how good we felt those months when Martinelli, Odegaard, Saliba, Saka all signed the contracts? I think it was within a 3-month period. Imagine I told you at that time, these men have all secured their long-term contracts, but with 2 years to go, we're going to give them Watkins. You lot would have all pissed yourselves. Now it's because we're in a situation we're in, with 2 days to go in a window, we're justifying it. That's the part and parcel of the Arsenal way.
I'm not. Listen, I want a striker. I don't care who it is. Turkey, I'm going to be really honest. I don't care who it is. If it was, you know,
I do.
I just want a striker in this window. I don't care what if it
because
go and get another one next summer. I wouldn't be bothered if we bought Watkins and sold him at the end of this one. Like, if that's what they want to do and swap dealing with Newcastle, I don't care.
Like, you know what James said about the whole Nunes thing, yeah, which is an example. The big difference with the Nunes to Liverpool is big money, big risk, didn't work out, but he came in not as the final piece. He was looked at as, we need to restructure this attack. You know, Mane's gone, Firmino's going, and so on. but we've still got Salah there, and they still went and acquired Diaz, and they still went on to get Gakpo. So Nunes didn't need to be the one in the end because they kept, moving forward. We know how Arsenal are. Like Watkins might come in and do a Nunes. Are we gonna move on quick? Nah, we ain't moving on quick, and that's my problem with it. We need to get our Salah in now. We need to get our final piece to that attack. I know Saka is the star boy in the attack, but don't we forget that we needed this on top of Saka's performances.
I think there's a lot of truth on all sides here. I think you're right. We need that star. I think Saka is growing into that star. I think Saka will be that star, but he can't do it alone. Liverpool's a good example. They're always adding to that front line. And the problem with Arsenal is I feel like if we are to spend 60 million this window, that will be the one. I don't think they're then going to go and spend another 60 in the summer, whether that be a left winger. Even if they go, it's Watkins in January and Barcola in the summer or whatever, I don't believe Arsenal would do that. I feel like they've only got one in them. So I agree with everything you said in that sense. I just feel there is a disrespect towards Watkins a little bit here, because if Watkins was our signing in the summer, I'd have been very happy about it. If Watkins was the guy we went for on January 2nd, I'd have been really happy about it. This late into the window, I'm still happy about, because I think he's that level. I don't think he's world class. I don't think he comes in and is like the best player in our team, but I think he's a really significant upgrade on Jesus and Havertz as an out-and-out 9, and I think he's got the all-round game to complement, what the team would need him to do. If Arsenal are to pursue the Watkins one, and look, I'm saying all this knowing that I don't think we will. I think ultimately with Duran going, I think Villa are open to business, but I think that price has just gone up another 15, 20 million minimum because of the Duran sale. They want Felix, they want Asensio, they bought in Daniel Marlin. So what's next for Arsenal? I think if they are to get the Watkins deal done, it's got to be followed up with the left winger in the summer. That won't be done. I think we need more creativity in midfield, because like one area's future is in the front three. So we need to bring more in, whether it be Zubimendi, Sven-Nipan, obviously looking close, but I still think we need maybe another more experienced creative type. So there's still quite a lot of work to do. And I don't want Watkins to be this like defining player, though I clearly rate him quite a bit higher than most people on this pod. I was looking at Gyökeres's numbers quickly, hoping I could sort of say, well, Turkish, what's he proven? But I look an idiot because his numbers are unbelievable.
For Sweden as well.
22 goals and 4 assists in 19 games this season in the league. 29 goals and 9 assists in 33 games last season. And they signed him from the Championship. 21 goals and 10 assists in 46. The season before that, 17 and 5 in 45. So the Championship numbers were very good. But since moving to Portugal, he's been unbelievable. But I kind of take the point that I don't think that necessarily makes him more proven than Watkins. On the European stage, maybe.
Which one would excite you more, though?
It would be Gyökeres. Look, of course it would be. I've seen what he's done in the Champions League against City, and that goal tally is just disgustingly good. But
wasn't the tagline "Be excited"?
I hear it. But I do think
Watkins got in the Champions League, James. Have you got that stat?
No. I think he scored his first the other day. I think
his first.
I think against Celtic. I might be wrong. I think I heard the commentator go, and he gets his first goal in the Champions League. I thought, oh no, but we'll double check that now. I just think 5 years of very, very consistent numbers, not world-class, outstanding numbers. Well, last season's were outstanding numbers, but yeah, I think there's a lot more to be said for Watkins. If we sign him, people, I'll be happy. I genuinely will be, whether it was deadline day or January 2nd. If we went into January, someone said Watkins is the guy we picked up, or in the summer, I'd have said nice. But that doesn't mean I think the attack is sorted. I don't think it's done. Martinelli and Trossard across the season have been way off it, though better recently. The right wing have concerns, but Waneri might be answering that. But I would be happy with Watkins. That's just me. But I don't think we'll get him.
We have talked about it quite a bit now. We are going to keep it moving because there's still a big game to somewhat discuss. It feels weird, this City game. It doesn't fit. I don't know. Is it just me that feels weird leading up to it? It doesn't feel. It doesn't have the same feeling as games in the last couple of years, including the first one this season. Lee thinks otherwise, I think.
No, I do. I think there's a lot of needle between these two teams.
There's needle, yeah, but do you feel
I
like
do.
you're going into a battle, like to a battle that could potentially define this? It doesn't feel like that.
Well, I think mainly that's due because it's been us and them battling for the title for the last couple of seasons. This time around, it's they're off the pace, but they're only 6 points behind us, and you know this Manchester City team, whether you like it or don't, are capable of going on a winning run now and really causing a few problems. And so I'm quite looking forward to this game because I think that City are starting to get back to slightly their best, and that if we can see them off, they could do us some favours further down the line. That's how I see it. We are at home, and there is needle in this game. I haven't forgot the 2-2. I haven't forgot that long-haired twat throwing the ball at Gabriel's head at the end of the game, like, you know, and going up to Arteta and saying everything like that. I think there's needle between these two teams, and do you know what? I love it. I love it that there's a little bit of needle between these two teams. I see them all being friendly with the Liverpool Man City game and blah blah blah, and even Arsenal Tottenham's as a game wasn't that there's no sort of needle in it like there used to be. Like this one's got proper needle, and yeah, I like the fact that it has, and I'm looking forward to this game. This is a game we could easily lose this game, boys. If I'll be really honest, I don't think we've got the firepower that they have. But we're going to have to defend very, very well and take our chances. But this could be I think this weekend is pivotal to us in the title race. If Liverpool go and win at Bournemouth and we don't beat Man City, that's probably the end of it. So it's massive, massive, massive. What's that?
It's definitely Havertz' key to us beating City. I don't know who said that. But...
Could you explain? Because we might need a locksmith if that's the key. But could you explain that?
Who's that? Who I said that?
Yeah.
I listen. I'm not saying that he's. The reason I'm saying is because we've got no one else up front. That's what I'm saying. He is vital to the way we play in this game because
we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
I don't know if you looked at Girona, like it was very lightweight up front, like, you know. So I do think that he is key for this game. Like he's got to play because we ain't got no one else. That is the fact. And do you know what? I'm going to say this now, and I wanted to bring this up. I've got a lot of admiration for Havertz. How he gets holds people up, not bullies people, but up front and all that. Have you seen him up close? He's very, very slim. I can't believe, you know what I mean? His waist is, you know what I mean, like it's about as big as my leg. You know what I mean? Like for his physicalities and all that. I actually said, what, he can put himself about up front like that? Very, very slim, like, you know what I mean? Like thick stick, like stick thin, should I say?
You what, mate?
I do feel. Listen, I'm telling you this now. If Havertz was injured or got some sort of injury against you, the front three would be weak. I'm not saying it's that strong now. I thought again, his hold up play was okay. He just misses chances. I tell you what, he does get into some chances. Like I've looked back at the Bournemouth game. You know what I mean? Should score two out of 4 chances. You know what I mean? He does get in there, considering that he ain't in there all the time. But I do think he is key because we ain't got no one else. It's as simple as that. That was the reason that I said that.
I think it's a really big game for us guys in the sense that, as Lee says, this could be terminal if this doesn't go well for us. But also, it's a chance. I mean, maybe I'm going a bit early here, but I think if we win this game, we lock off top 2. I think we keep City away from making this really bad season. And I think if City beat us, we're in trouble. We're in big, big trouble. So I think if we can win this game, I think that just keeps City at arm's length and we can focus on looking forward rather than over our shoulder. I'm worried. I'm worried because although City haven't been great, they've still got winners in their team. They've still got winners in their team that know how to get stuff done. I'm really worried about this team. One of the things that I noticed about the Chelsea game last week was City had the audacity to play Gundogan, Silva, and Kovacic in midfield. And my thinking was, there's not a lot of power and running power in that midfield. If we can run through the midfield with Declan Rice, even a half-fit Declan Rice, you know, Partey and Odegaard, if they play that same 3 against us, we should be able to run right through their midfield. because I was stunned that Chelsea didn't maximise the fact that they had the advantage in terms of running power through the middle. They do that on Sunday. I feel we'll have a lot of joy, but at least it's about Havertz. I mean, we haven't got anybody else, but you don't get a lot of chances against City, and you have to take them. And as Lee also says, that's not something that Havertz is particularly good at doing. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a draw. I really wouldn't.
Are we
City aren't great,
anticipating?
but
Are we anticipating a chess match? Are we anticipating another chess match, or has the shackles been lifted a little?
This had been in my head because whenever I've watched City, the amount of chances they concede, unbelievable. I don't know if you watched the Club Bruges game the other day.
Yeah.
But Bruges they had many moments and openings. Now you could put that down to City, knowing they needed to win and really going for it. But I think that would be kind to City because every time I've watched them play, you're right, Chelsea could have been 2-0 up, should have been 2-0 up really, before they pulled themselves quite well back into that. And Chelsea went man for man on the second and third goals, that then they just bullied them out the way with Haaland and long balls. So that they can hit you in a few different ways. One thing they did against Chelsea really well is get their fullbacks up the pitch, Gvardiol and Nunes, who one of them's a box-to-box central midfielder. The others are also meant to be a generational centre-back, and the two are being used as high wing-backs. So it's not just profile of players, how you use them, and Guardiola is getting them really advanced at the moment. What does that do to our wingers? Does that drop them back? What does that do to our back four shape? I'm really interested how Arteta approaches this, because a big part of me is saying that defense is looking messy at the moment. Go for it. Just go for the kill and just really flex this time. But is that the kind of tactic that wakes City up? I think what City have struggled to do, they've just been a bit stifled by teams recently. They've just been a bit, they've actually scored some goals, 2 in Paris, 2 at Brentford. They didn't win those games. 3 against Chelsea, but could have gone 2-0 down. So there's still goals in that side. So do you focus on stopping that, being sensible, knowing the chances will come because that defense isn't good enough? Or do you see a weakness and go for the kill? And then with all this, this is a side that have players that are no strangers to the big occasion and bigger occasions than just a trip to the Emirates, right? So we've got to be wary of that. I don't know how to approach this. And to be honest, I don't have a set way that I want him to approach this. I'm not thinking, if you don't go for it, I'll be disappointed. It's still City, it's still Pep. And I'm just really interested to see what he does. I think the one thing I really want to see is Martinelli on the left with Waneri on the right. Now the Trossard-Havertz battle, listen, he'll go Havertz and Arteta will make that decision. But I think those are the two wingers we have to have our most direct goal threats out wide.
I agree.
I think it's also important. Sorry, just before I come in Turkish, it's really important that we win this game, because if we're trying to be this big team and a Premier League title contesting team, we can't let City, when they're at their worst, come to the Emirates and handle us. We have to really assert ourselves over what is not a good Manchester City team. So I just think in terms of just pride, you can't let City rock up to your gaff when they've had a poor season and take points. Otherwise, we're just not serious. We just can't. We can't let a poor City do this. We have to be like, no, when you're at your worst, we're going to put you to bed. So I think for that as well, it's really important in the game.
Yeah, we have to use that. Emotions got the better of us in a negative way over the years. This time around, we've got to use emotion in a positive way, because emotion can be used to really fulfill objectives, and the objective is to win this game on Sunday, because any more drop points, and that's where City will be licking their lips in a sense. There's a bit of needle in it now for sure, and it's a chance for them to, in a year where the title race was gone from them from pretty early, still have a damning effect on it near the end. And listen, as much as they've gone up against Liverpool for the majority of their reign in the last 7-8 years, the last 2 years have been up against Arsenal. And having spoken to Steve, you can see how much Arsenal fans have caused unrest amongst him and City fans. So I know that they're going to be really up for this game, player-wise and fan-wise, this Sunday. But yeah, I agree with what James said in terms of you have to start Nanieri, you have to start Lewis Skelly. Aside from that, I think the rest pretty much picks itself.
Calafiori up front.
Why not? I heard he invades space like no other.
He's been invading space very well recently.
I thought he played very well. I know we're Sonny Gerard, but I thought he played very, very well. I think he could be key. It's been an interesting one, that, because I think like in our box and in their box, he could be a big threat for us as well. Like, I like Calafiori. I do. I think.
I tell you what, though,
potential.
Lewis Skelly gets the vote for one performance in particular, and that was what he did against Morgan Rogers. When I saw that, I thought,
yeah, that's a great point.
You can hack it with
The best.
The most physically demanding of forwards in the league.
Yeah.
Now, listen, Haaland is a different, but you're talking pace and power and dribbling and carrying. Morgan Rogers is going to be a real battle for Lewis Skelly. I thought he came out of that brilliantly. And Haaland won't always pull on to Lewis Skelly, or maybe he does, but I've got, maybe that's not a bad thing if he's pulling that far wide onto our fullback.
We got to be smart as well. Man City will still be thinking about how we have been crying about refereeing decisions. They'll be looking to take advantage of anything that can get us sent off or get us booked. We've got to be smart. We can't fall for the games and the traps that I think Pep Guardiola will set us in terms of trying to rile us. Yeah, so we can't fall for that. Bernardo Silva's a little rat. You know what I mean? He will be trying to do all he can to get us booked and sent off. So we need to play it smart. We need to try and handle it as business, but we need to be intelligent as well.
I miss Ben White.
Yeah.
I remember the time when people thought Ben White, Timber is going to be Ben White, that character. I think we miss it on the pitch. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I agree.
But let's look at the prediction table. Only James didn't get a point off the back of the Girona win. He predicted a draw. Everyone else went for wins, but no one predicted the 2-1. So a point everywhere but James, leaving Jordan top 37 points. James on 35. I'm on 28. Lee's on 27. What'd you say, James?
Heartbreak.
Something like that. But yeah, Jordan.
So now I've got to play it smart because I want to try and keep that gap with James. So I think it's going to be a draw, but I think James is going to go for a win. So I'm going to go for a win. And I'm going to say 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal, yeah. James, is Jordan right?
Of course I'm right. Go on, James.
I don't know. I'm going to head in the clouds. 3-1 Arsenal.
Well, 2-1, 3-1.
I'm delusional.
Feet very firmly on land. 2-2.
Come on, boys. I want the Emirates loud on Sunday.
Oh, I don't know. 2-1.
I nearly went 2-0.
Good one, like 1-0.
2-1-0.
No, I think I'll do what I do. No, go with your gut. Go with your gut feeling here. 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. All right, so we've got 2-2-1s. We've got a 3-1 and a 2-2. Let us know yours in the comment section below. It should be an interesting.
Show up, boys.
Predictions done. Prediction table done. Comments of the week ready?
I think Sunday we could have a perfect day, right? Before kickoff, Josh and Stan Kroenke walk out. They unveil Ollie Watkins. They wave to Turkish in the crowd. We get the big 3 points. Mural of Ollie Watkins by the end of the day. It's just lined up for something perfect, isn't it?
Liverpool lose.
Yeah. Oh, what a weekend.
It could also be lined up for another match reaction sponsored by Proton with my hairline showing and fucking going mad.
Hey, can I say the detail on your latest video, Turkish, where you're describing the desk and the chair? Oh my God, have you guys seen it? Go and watch Turkey's latest video. The detail in which he describes his chair is just forensic and it's beautiful.
This chair is the bet I Jordan. I didn't know chairs. You see this chair I'm sitting on right now?
You got a new chair?
Yeah, man. Flexi Spot. Yeah, they sponsored my last video on my channel, and the chair they sent me is just I feel like I'm just coming off the back of a massage right now. I'm ready to go. Attack the day.
What kind of magic chair is this?
This chair's got curves in places you wouldn't know curves existed. I'm 36. I haven't seen curves in these places before. I'm telling you.
James, he spent about 10 minutes describing the chair. 10 minutes.
Yeah,
of his
I didn't need
ad.
to. I am about to pick this chair up and show you, man, in a minute. Hey, do you know what this chair's on?
Okay.
Look at the neck bit. Jeez.
Mine's just broken. Actually. You know what? Mine's just broken. Literally half an hour ago, my chair's broken.
Yeah, go use my link, man.
Turkish.
Go use my link. Man.
Yeah.
Lee's on the floor, so he doesn't have a chair to show up.
Yeah, I can't afford it. I'm just on a little chair, like, table and chairs. I ain't got all this, don't have that luxury.
Jordan, too much sex, mate. You need to lay off the chair.
It must be. It's broken. Literally half an hour ago, I just
multi-use.
Well, Jordan must have been out then when that happened.
Come on, comments.
Day, right?
Yeah.
As we've got the hair one, can I start off,
Yeah, go on then. Yeah.
Mr. Music 238, James to Turkey up next, and then finally Lee for the second miracle of Istanbul. Very good.
Yeah,
very good.
I saw that one, and I had a similar one from Club SSW9. That receding hairline comment at the beginning shattered James's soul. and I watched for the bits after that. So I had a few comments. Someone was saying, sorry, Lee. Someone thought it was very rude that I was looking up at the ceiling when you were talking, and I do.
No, I see that.
The only reason I was so hungover. I tried to hide it, and I've got 3 lights here, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Awful. So, but it was nothing on you. I mean, I thought you were talking shit, but it was nothing on you. I just had to. I was trying to look after myself, and the receding hairline comment was just not on. That's why I wear a hat on this podcast. I can't show my. Look.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry. I got a link for chairs. I got a link for hairlines.
got a link for chairs, Turkey.
Don't worry about
and
that.
My neck is killing me. Actually, I need this chair you speak of because I'm just not in great.
I'm an online bazaar at the moment. You can just come get anything from my channel. Chairs, VPNs, whatever you need, bro. Just come true.
What a business you're running.
It's like AliExpress. It's fucked.
For everything. All right.
The comments on Turkish's hairline were genius. There was one here. This is a contender for, I think, comment of the year. The Fourever Arsenal podcast sponsored by Turkish Hairlines. Love that one. Turkish is Big Angie's biggest fan. Highline, mate. Love that one. and then someone bit here, Jordan shouting out consistency when his camera is running at 14p, 144p. Well, that was cheeky. I'm on 4K, boss. We're talking about 100.
That was flickering, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was. I'll take it back.
I've got a couple. Gary said, "Hair is it going, people?" I like that one. I can't lie. And Ryan said, "All is right in the world. Turkish has hair. James don't care. Lee cares too much, and Jordan has a dodgy camera." I like that one as well.
Love it.
Gosh.
Go on, Lee. I love the pod. Big up you guys. Well, yeah.
He's read his.
Oh, he's read his already.
Yeah.
What was his one?
It was the Miracle of Istanbul. Second.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Lee done all right. You see, knee-jerk reaction.
I think he was in shock because it was so good. Like, I get that.
It was. I can't lie. We're gonna start with Lee from now on. I like that. We're gonna start.
I do miss Lee's shit ones.
Yeah.
I like that the comment section say, "Here's your comment, Lee."
I love it. Like that. I mean, you've got a very good chance if you start off with here's the comment of the week, Lee, or comment of the day. You've got a very good chance of getting it like that.
Look, he's lining them up. All right, people. Hopefully you've enjoyed. I know we could have gone on a bit more, but it is Friday morning. There's still a lot to do throughout the day, previews to record, and stuff to come out. So make sure you subscribe, put the notification bell on, hit the like button right here. Let's get to 1,000 likes. We'll be back after the City game. Release probably Monday morning. So look out for the next Fourever Monday morning, but everything else in between. And yeah, subscribe, AFTV Plus app. Love for the love. Big up James, Lee, and Jordan. We'll be back soon. Peace.